3.
Welcome to the virtual reading fair 810 afternoon session. My name is Chia and I am 6 years old and I'm going to the first grade.
Thank you, Harry. And I'm Meredith McGee, a member of the Learnership Book Club and also the chair of Community Library, Mississippi.
Hey, Ms. McGee.
Oh, hey, Will, you done came on, huh?
Yeah, can you hear me well?
Yes, you can introduce yourself.
I'm William Tress. I'm the author of Reverse Guilty Plea in the New Populist Party.
Very good.
I'm Dr. Janice Neal Vincent. I'm Dr. Janice Neal Vincent, retired educator, university professor, and performance artist, as well as author.
Talon.
My name is Talon Hines, and I go to Jan Smith Elementary School, and I'm 9 years old.
Lynette.
I am Lynette Stafford in Greenville, Mississippi.
All right. Okay. So Talon is going first, and then we're gonna have Harry. Tell us what you're reading and hold up the book, Talon.
Click, clap, boom.
Is that a Halloween book?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Click, clap, boom. Farmer Brown does not like Halloween.
Now, what's his name?
Farmer Brown.
Oh, Farmer Brown. I saw those overalls, them boots.
Witches give him nightmares. Pirates give him shivers. And Jack-o'-lanterns flickery spooky shadow on the wall. Farmer Brown leaves a bowl of candy on the porch. He put up do not disturb sign. He dropped the shadow and locked the door. But in the barn, the Halloween party has just begun. There is a creeping as the mice sneak across the field. There is a creaking as the sheep slowly push open the barn door. There is a tap, tap, tapping, and the cow go to the window to let the cats in. Farmer Brown does not like the sound of Halloween night. He checked the lock on the door. He peeked through the window. There is a dark create stand beneath the trees. Farmer Brown runs to his room, puts on his pajamas, and climbs under his cover. He hears the tripping of leaves, footstepping, heading towards the house. There is a crouping on the old barn of the front porch. Then a tap, tap, tapping on the front door. Farmer Brown pulled up his cover tight. He heard a quack, quack, quackly in the crisp night air. Quackly! Farmer Brown jumped out of bed. The porch is empty. The candy bowl is gone. There is a new note on the Farmer Brown's door. Halloween party at the barn. Farmer Brown ran to the barn.
It's time to go to the barn.
There is a creaking on the old barn of the front porch, and a tricking on lead footsteps heading towards the barn. There is a tap, tap, tapping on the window. Best costume. Happy Halloween. The end.
Thank you. Can you give us a summary of the characters in that book?
Sure. The character was a pig. It was Farmer Brown and a bowl of candy and mice. There was a cow, sheep, duck, chicks, and mice, sheep, cats, and a duck dressing like a vampire.
And what was the message in the book? I saw Farmer Brown won the best costume. Was it Farmer Brown? And what did he dress up as?
He didn't. He just had his pajamas on. But the duck gave him the best costume. But this is Farmer Brown costume.
Oh, okay. Okay, that was a very good story.
Farmer Brown was afraid. He had the best. He was afraid. I was scared for him. Very good reading, baby.
I was ready to go to the barn so I can get some candy myself.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Hello,
Very good
everyone.
reading,
Hello,
baby
everyone.
girl.
Hello, Vicky. Okay, so where's Harry? You ready to read?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What are you reading?
A lot happened today.
Okay.
it's a one day Jordan's teacher gave him a book, but it's a writing book, she said. It's called a journal. Jordan opened his journal, or opened the book. He saw blank pages. He started to write. October 3rd, I played baseball today. I saved the game when I raced home. I saved the game when I battled 6 home runs. I saved the game when I battled 100 home runs. The fans excited. They clapped and cheered. When I crossed home plate, the fans jumped up and down and called my name. I went to bat again. My bat cracked. Before the ball crossed home plate, I fixed my bat. I fixed and glued my bat. I hit another home run with my fixed bat. I hopped over the fence and jogged to my house. I cooked 1,000,000 hamburgers, baked 100 cakes, and raced back to the game. I gave the hamburgers and the cakes to the fans. Fans shouted and called my name. They named the ballpark after me. Jordan Park. What a day. Jordan closed his journal and handed it to his teacher. A lot happened today, said Jordan. I need a new journal. The end.
Very good. Now, can you give us a summary of the story?
Yes, ma'am. So, the teacher gave all the students a journal, and then Jordan wrote, a lot happened today. He said he saved the game when October the 3rd. He played baseball today. He said I saved the game when I raced home. I saved the game when I battled 6 home runs. I saved the game when I battled 100 home runs. The fans act excited. They clapped and cheered when he crossed the home plate. The fans jumped up and down and called his name. When he went for a bat again. His bat was cracked before the ball crossed the home plate. He fixed it with glue and hit the ball and hit another home run with my fixed bat. I cooked 1,000,000 hamburgers. He baked 100 cakes and raced back to the game and gave the hamburgers and cakes to his fans. The fans shouted and called his name. They named the ballpark after him. What a day, he said. He closed his journal and handed it to his teacher. A lot happened today. He asked for a new journal.
So he can continue
And
writing.
that's
Very
it.
good.
Mhm.
So he's
Mhm. He had a busy day.
Yeah, he gave away. He cooked
Mhm.
1,000,000 hamburgers and gave them to his fans. That means his fan base
1,000,000
was
hamburgers.
really big.
1,000,000 hamburgers.
Mhm.
How many?
Do
1,000,000
you
And
hamburgers?
100
chill,
cakes.
and 100 cakes? Yes. Do you want to keep a journal hit on Harry? Would you like to keep a
Keep
journal
a
of your
diary.
day?
I keep a diary.
Okay. Same thing. Good job. What about you, baby girl?
I keep piece of papers.
You put them in a notebook because you'll look back on one day and just be excited about the things that you've done as at your age you are now.
Okay. Mhm.
You all get to share with your children and your grandchildren as time come on.
Yeah, it's like a keeping a documentation of your young life to have a journal
Right.
or what we call a diary. That's about the same thing, isn't it? Diary, the journal is the same thing.
Right.
Okay, anybody else have any
Yes.
questions or comments to ask Talon and Harry?
I'm happy to see the enthusiasm, happy to see the venturing that the two of them are doing. That's a very good thing. And I'm just so elated to know that Harry is keeping a diary. I need to get to that diary, see what's in it.
I haven't wrote anything.
I might learn
Oh,
something.
it's in his head right now. It's in his head. And baby girl,
Well,
write
that's
a diary about being a dancing dog. Baby girl, you can write, yeah, because I know about dancing doll and Miss Diana. Yes, ma'am. Have you been on?
Pardon?
I was asking her if
I
she
didn't
been
get-
on TV. Have you been on TV? No,
Not
baby girl.
Not
Who
yet.
Well,
was that?
I'm going to keep
Oh,
watching.
okay.
I'm going to keep watching. And when I see you, I'm going to, yay!
Maybe on YouTube.
Yes,
Because
she's been on
we're
YouTube.
doing a Zoom meeting
Okay,
right now.
then. I'll look.
What'd you say, Harry?
She's doing a Zoom meeting right now.
Oh, and so I hear he says she is doing a Zoom meeting right now, and so is Harry. I get that point, Harry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I get that point.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good.
Yeah. Well, we thank you all because Talian and Harry, you have made our day.
Yes, that's right.
All right, so there are no now we'll do the adults can read now since we've had our most important readers. So who wants to read next?
Well, I can finish my story that I started reading during the morning session about Mrs. Albertine T. Reed.
Tell
And
the name of it, the name of the book.
the name of the book is Delta Jewels. Delta Jewels by Alicia Steele.
Okay.
And for those who were not here this morning, I just want to simply say that this book is a collection of the work that Ms. Steele has done as she has interviewed a lot of senior citizens, these females across time, that came to what we now see as her book. So each person has her own story to tell. And we're looking at the 105-year-old Mrs. Albertine T. Reed. So she's going to, her granddaughter, Mrs. Verdier, is going to end the storytelling about her grandmother. This is where we take up now. Mama, Mrs. Verdier's grandmother, went to a boarding school. Her parents wanted her to have a good education. So at 4 years old, she went to boarding school in Moorhead, Mississippi. She said that it was a good experience. There were other little girls there the same age as she was. They each had their own little cot or bed that they slept on, with their little trunk at the foot of their bed with all their clothes in it. They came home for holidays and sometimes in between. They had to travel by wagon to get back and forth to school. They would warm bricks and put the bricks at the bottom of the wagon to put their feet on to keep their little feet warm. Her mother fell ill after my grandmother was delivered by cesarean section in 1908. She passed away when my grandmother was 12, but she fell ill after my grandmother was born. Mama was the last child born to her mother. Her older sister was born in 1890. There were 18 years between her and her sister, and 8 years between her and her brother. And there was the other reason she had to go to boarding school. Her mother physically was not able to take care of Mama after that. Mama used to say she grew up knowing God don't like ugly, and that she married her husband of 40 years because he was a sweet man, well-read, and loved classical music. When Mama passed away, it was a beautiful moment. She called my mother to her chair. They lived next door to Mrs. Verdier, and told her she was ready to go to bed. It was only 8 o'clock, and my mother said, "You want to go to bed this early?" She said, "I want to go to my room. I want to go to my bed, to my room." She had gotten very feeble, so my mother called me to help put her to bed, like I did every night. When I went over, it was hard to get her situated because her arthritis had gotten so bad. I'd lay her down and ask, "Mama, are you comfortable yet?" And she'd say, "No, move this shoulder." So we moved that shoulder. I went to her back to pull her shoulders back some more, and she sat up real quick and said, "Ooh, Mama, are you okay?" I asked, and she said, "I just can't breathe." I sat up, and all of a sudden her little head drooped to the side, right on my shoulder. "Mama, can you hear me?" I asked. She didn't answer. It was a beautiful moment for me because I felt like she was where she wanted to be. and where I wanted her to be. I had always told her when I moved her up here next door, which took some convincing, but I finally convinced her that they needed to be closer to me because her children were getting older and it was harder for them to take care of her or to take care of themselves. Mama, this is your place. This is where you are going to be. And I promise you that there will be no nursing home. There will be no assisted living. This is where you will take your last breath. I'm going to see to that, no matter what I have to do. That night, she just went to sleep. I sat and held her for a while. Then I laid her back down on her bag and called hospice.
Wow. That's the end of that book?
No, this is the end of this particular lady's story, Mrs. Reed.
I got you, because each one, that's interesting how you have, how many stories is in that book?
Oh, now I can't remember the number of stories. There's so many. When I wrote the article, I knew the exact number, but I can't remember the number right off. There are lots of stories in it, and the ladies range from their 60s on up, like mid 60s on to whatever the other age may be, 105 or more.
And the interesting, one sister was born in 1890 and another one 1908, and they were 18 years apart. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In this particular story, you see,
And yes, they crossed 2 centuries, so that was good. That crossed 2 centuries.
yes, and each lady brings something to the plate for Alicia Steele to be able to relate to what she did not get from her grandmother. Remember, from this morning, she was not able, she never got around to doing a story on her grandmother. And that's what caused her to go to these other ladies to find out about their lives. And she was very surprised that so many wanted to share their stories with her. And so the book itself helps her to remember what her grandmother was like. And she's just very, very sad that she was not able to do an interview on her mother, or did not take the time to interview her grandmother. So this is a keepsake for her as she remembers her grandmother. Delta Jewels. I don't think there could be a better title than Delta Jewels, because all of these ladies came from the Delta. They all lived in the Delta. And I just wonder how many of them are still living today, because this was in 2015 when the book came out. And so we are 5 years since then. And I remember there was one lady she had interviewed, and the lady died before the book was printed.
Talon, did you hear the story?
Yes.
Do you have any questions to ask Dr. Janice, Neil Vincent?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Not a single
Delta Junior College in Moorhead.
Pardon?
Isn't Mississippi Delta Junior College in Moorhead?
Mississippi Delta Junior College.
Isn't that in Moorhead? I believe it's up there in that area, isn't it?
I don't know where it is. I know it's in the Delta, but I don't know the location.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think
It's in Moorhead. Yes,
think
it's
it's in
Mississippi
Moorhead.
Delta Community College.
Yeah, it's
It's
in Moorhead.
in Moorhead.
Okay.
Okay.
Thought so. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I
It's
So,
in
went
Moorhead.
to spring. I went to fall and spring semester.
yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So who's
I
reading?
received my associates from there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good then. You're getting on with your students.
Yeah. So who's reading next? Who wants to read next?
I can, if you want me to.
Okay. Okay.
I'll read
Go ahead.
Bernie Sanders' book again called Political Revolution. This time it's on fossil fuels. Um, Leading at home and abroad, climate change is truly a global problem. The decisions individual countries, especially the advanced industrialized countries, make about their energy systems affect everyone else on this planet. The carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere in the United States, China, or Japan has no nationality and respects no borders, nor does the heat wave, hurricane, or drought caused by global warming. Moreover, even the United States were to successfully transform its energy system to 100% renewables, it would not likely be enough to avoid the worst consequences of climate change. The fact of the matter is we're all in the same boat together, and solving this unprecedented global challenge will require an unprecedented level of international cooperation. As the most powerful country in the history of the planet, the United States must lead that effort. And in December of 2015, Paris Climate Change Conference was an important step in that direction, and that for the first time, 195 countries adopted a universal, legally binding global climate deal. But we all know the fossil fuel industry has enormous power and enormous influence over governmental decisions throughout the world. The United States can and should lead by example. Our country has contributed greatly to climate change, but we also have the largest stage and the greatest know-how to lead in implementing climate change solutions. Part of the challenge should be to show that the transition to a clean energy future can work and that we can produce affordable clean energy and strengthen our economy. Right now, the template developing countries have for industrialization is based on burning fossil fuels. With the largest economy in the world, we are uniquely positioned to demonstrate there's a viable alternative. Unless we take bold action to reverse climate change, our children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren are going to look back at this period in history and ask a simple question: where were they? Why didn't the United States of America, the most powerful nation on earth, lead the international community in cutting greenhouse emissions and preventing the devastating damage that the scientific community was sure would come?
William, what do you think Bernie Sanders' solution on climate change is?
I think we have to get away from fossil fuels because they emit carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and it causes the ozone layer to get eroded. And fossil fuels are dangerous to the atmosphere, and we need to get away from that and go to solar energy.
Define fossil fuel.
It's like factories and stuff like that, that come out of factories, those old factories where the smoke comes out of them, and
Okay.
stuff like that. I guess that's what it is. I don't know.
Okay, very good.
I would like to do solar. I would like to do solar energy.
Yeah.
I would like that.
Me too. I really would, because it's actually cheap.
Yeah, and it can create jobs too.
Yeah. And we need jobs around here.
Yeah, you can create jobs.
Yeah, solar energy and wind energy.
Yeah, and also doing the infrastructure, you create jobs. Just fixing the highways, you know, like FDR back during the Great Depression had a works program where he put people to work. We can have jobs for that.
That's true. Okay,
Good to bring. That would be something good for to bring back too.
Yeah, like the New Deal, that FDR had, you know.
Right. Well, I guess I'll read my paragraph and then let somebody else go. Oh, Talon.
Ma'am.
I'm gonna be asking you a question. You listening?
Yes, ma'am.
I hear it. The sheet of business, the Mississippi State Capitol. Okay, so we're actually on page 15. This is where we stopped earlier. Talon, you see that picture?
Yes.
It's heavy bad. No, okay. Okay, so this is tell me what you see in this picture. Describe it to me. Talon.
I see I think 3 kids.
Okay, look at it again. It's 4 boys.
Oh.
4 black boys. And they're sitting on a cannon by a waterfront. And this picture was taken in 1902. And they all look what? How would you describe how they look?
They look black.
What else? They look happy and excited, right?
They look kind of happy. They look like they're playing.
Yeah. That's what they were doing. They were playing on a cannon, which is a very dangerous thing to play on. And the father was saying he doubted they realized that they were playing on something that used to be destructive. Oh my goodness, this is the last page of chapter 1 that I'm going to read now. The next one is chapter 2. So I'm going to have to read the whole page so I can finish this. All right. Back then, our race was fighting for the right to attain an education so we could learn. I learned a lot about my culture and the history of African Americans from pictures and my visit to the Smith Robinson Museum. I am learning a lot about Jackson, our state, and our country. The city of Jackson has a civil rights driving tour. Did you know that, Lynette? The city of Jackson has a civil rights driving tour.
Oh no! I didn't know that.
It was established under our first black mayor, I believe, who was Harvey Johnson. And the driving tour starts at the Smith Robinson Museum, and then you go to the Mississippi State Capitol where the shooter went second, and it goes on. It even goes to Meg Everett's house and to Margaret Walker Alexander, and it goes to about, I know, 25 places. But anyway,
well, look, when I come to Jackson, give you your birthday ice cream, you and I have to go on that driving tour.
Okay. Even my uncle's house is on the tour. The first house he lived on.
Well, you know, I'll be meeting him.
Right. Okay. The Smith Robinson Museum and Culture Center is the first stop on the tour. The Mississippi State Capitol is second. One Saturday, we visited the Smith Robinson Museum, which is 2 blocks from the Mississippi State Capitol. Yesterday, we learned about 4 Mississippi governors at the library. A governor is the head of a state. They rule over state politics. They are over the state's National Guard, too. Okay, Talon, give me a summary of what I just read.
You read that they made 4 governments and
One thing is that a governor is what now? What is a governor?
I said they have seen 4 governments.
Oh, that's the next chapter on 4 governors. Governor is Tate Reed is our governor now. He rules over the whole state of Mississippi in 82 counties. So
I get it now.
She heard you say 4 governments and not 4 governors. She misheard you. She heard you say 4 governments and not 4 governors.
yeah, 4 governors. Right. Well, very good, Talon. Thank you for your observation. And who's reading next? Lynette, you are either Vicky reading?
Well, I wasn't reading, but I finished the Aubrey's story, the book on I finished the story on Audrey.
Oh, you did? Well, very good. So then we'll just
Finish her story. There were several more.
Okay, so we'll start new tomorrow in the morning at 11. And this is perfect time. We actually we stayed on task, and we're stopping at about 45 minutes, which is our scheduled time. Hooray! Okay. So we'll see everybody in the morning at 11. And thanks for another wonderful session and intellectual exchange. And I'm going to upload the video to YouTube and to our community library Facebook page.
Okay.
Okay then. Thank you, and you all have a great one.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
All right, thank you. Thanks for the comments.
Everybody have a good
Take
evening.
care.
Take care.
Okay, take care.